dare you? That's my power!
Alright everyone, once again I am bringing you another deck because my brother asked me to put another one on here, and this one surprisingly did beat his deck. It was the Saiyan Cell that he was playing, which I have never won against up until this deck was created. So I will go ahead and let you guys know that this is a really crazy and awkward version of Namekian Restored Mastery Nail. First things first, the way that this is approached is to get all the Dragon Balls out, then to do critical damage your way to victory. So the first part of the deck that I have, oh, we also set level 1 for the whole time too. But first thing we get out is the Dragon Balls. Yes, I do start off with having all 7 of the Dragon Balls in the deck. We have that because that's how we're going to win this. What I did do for the setups was I got myself out the Namekian Growth, just in case we do need to, when we draw into our hand, go ahead and have to drop a Dragon Ball from our hand immediately, or to obviously rejuvenate extra cards that we need. This is actually just a really good card to have in the deck, so that's why I always usually just play one. So I do stick in one Namekian Growth just for our setups. Namekian Wish, I do have that in there because since we will be having the Dragon Ball control, we will have a good amount of rejuvenation going on, as long as ending combat in case you do end up with a pretty horrible hand. So I do got one Namekian Wish inside there for my setups. The Dragon Radar obviously is a must so that we can have any Dragon Ball that we want out at our possession. So I got one of those inside the deck. Obviously we'll limit 1 per deck. Also another limit 1 per deck is a Namekian Dragon Clan. Another way to just get the Dragon Balls that we need. It says right there, if your MP is level 4, search light deck for 2 Dragon Balls, but at this point in time, with this deck, we're probably going to set level 1, so we're not getting out to level 4 to get the 2 Dragon Balls out. The next thing we have along these setups is 2 of the Visit in the Past. That works a lot, especially with some of the attacks I'm going to be playing later in the game that I'll be showing you, because some of the attacks help you do the critical, meaning you'll be able to get Visit in the Past out to crit whenever your opponent does decide to steal a Dragon Ball, or if they have one that you want in your possession. But Visit in the Past is good in any deck, and that's why it says limit 2 per deck, because it's just that juicy. So that's all. No, actually I got one more, We got one more setup. One more setup is the Namekian Disturbance. This obviously is just to get out the level 1 Dragon Ball, so that if they have to, they're forced to capture up to level 1 Dragon Ball. In case it says right here, your other Dragon Balls cannot be captured, your attacks will +1 life card damage. That's going to come in a lot later in the game. I do have a lot of cards in here that do 4 life cards damage, and it also helps you out too, because I've had that this is the only Dragon Ball that can be captured right from the get-go, so it's harder for them to get the advantage of the other Dragon Balls if they try to steal them. But yeah, that works really well because the +1 card is going to do a lot for us. So yes, Namekian Disturbance gets out level 1 Dragon Ball and makes everything beautiful. So that's all the setups I have. Next thing we have along the line is the drills. I only have 1 drill inside of here, and it is the Namekian Assistance Drill. The cool thing about this is where you control 2 or more allies or 2 or more Dragon Balls, your maximum hand size is +1 during a discard step. So during a discard step, you're sitting with 2 cards in your hand instead of 1, giving your opponent more on edge feel of what's inside of your hand. Since you're playing with the deck that I'm playing with, you're going to obviously have the goal for the Dragon Balls out there, so you're always going to have hopefully 2 or more Dragon Balls to put this out there and have it do some coolness for you. So those are only drills I have out there. Let's go ahead and move on to the attacks. First things first, for my attacks, I would want to play the Namekian Backhand. The thing is with this one, I only have 1. I wish I had 3, but it allows you to do 3 attacks, and that they can't be directed or prevented, and does 3 stages of damage. So it's allowed to do 3 attacks a turn just with this, so it's basically doing 9 stages of damage right here at this one card. That can't be not redirected or prevented. The next physical attack I do got for you is the Namekian Back Kick. I run 3 of these in the deck just because the effect on them. The next style attack you perform, this combat gains hit, you may use critical damage effect. The next non-style attack, physical attack you perform, this combat gains hit, you may use this critical damage effect. Meaning if you had this out there and you wanted to hit with the backhand, bam, you have critical damage right there if you hit with it. So that one's really good as well. It's used for that effect, and also I have non-styled cards in here too that if they get the hit, it'll also make it do critical damage. So that's really cool because in case your Dragon Balls get stolen, that helps you get them back. The next one down the line is obvious. It's Nail's dashing attack. The reason why we play this one in here, because obviously from the get-go you do critical damage effect. And then, you know, hit shuffle into your life deck. So it allows you to possibly be able to use this over and over again. That's one of the ones you do want to get out there when you do use your visit in the past, is get this out to try to use it multiple times in a row. So yeah, so this one's a really good, get critical damage, throw your Dragon Balls back, make the game so much more juicy. Okay, next thing down the line that we have for physicals would be the Namekian heel kick. Once again, I run 3 of these inside of there, only because this has a lot of endurance, and later along the line I do have a lot of cards, like I said, with for Dragon Ball 1, that'll help me with 1 extra life card. I have a lot of energy in here that's going to do at least 4 or 5 life cards damage, help me almost do another crit for the energy if they hit. But this does gives you 5 stages, does 4 life cards. If this was down the line, it'll give you an extra life card of damage. Hopefully you hit in the crit. Also, the endurance is so juicy on there. You get 2 endurance, meaning if they do hit you somehow, bam, you get all that extra buffer right there. So that's why I like this card a lot. The next one we do have down the line, looks like I'm going to be pulling out the energy attack. This one is Namekian Door Destruction. I am playing 1 Kami in the deck. So by playing 1 Kami in the deck, if he does get discarded somehow, then you're able to get out an extra Dragon Ball. So that's just for him. Also at the end of the turn, he's going to help you get extra cards back in your deck from your discard pile. So that's why I like him inside there. Playing 1 ally, and that's Kami. But back to the Door Destruction, an ally you control, you may perform this attack regardless of your MP's power stage. So if Kami's out on there, Kami can pay 3 energy to do 8 life cards of damage, possibly doing another crit. So they're going to A, be hesitant to knock out Kami, and B, they're going to be not just to knock Kami, but B, they could possibly get a crit down on themselves as well. So that's why I like this card inside the deck, because it makes them really, really weary about what they're going to be doing next. So the next energy attack I do got in the deck is the Namekian Hand Burst. The reason I use this one, it does cost 3 stages to use it, but the cool thing about it is it does 5 life cards of damage, but also if it hits, you get to draw the bottom card of your life deck, so it helps combos go on a little bit more. It is banished after use, that's the only bad thing about it, I think, but besides that, it's gonna, you know, 5 life cards, hopeful crit, you know, that's to me pretty juicy. Next I have another strange one. It's the Android Defensive Blast. It has 1 endurance, so it helps you with a buffer for attacks, costs 2 energy, raise your anger level 1, 5 life cards. If this is out, it's going to hopefully have 6 life cards, so hopefully another crit if you guys can land it without them using endurance. Hit, non-styled attacks lose all immediate effects this combat. Raise your anger level 1, oh hey, that's good, 'cause I'm trying to set level 1 anyways, so if it negates the effect of getting all this other raise your angers, I don't have to worry about that. So with this one, to me, it just helps stop like other cards too, so against you. So like a devastating blow, it won't allow them to search your discard and all that kind of stuff, and banish whatever. So that's why I like this one. This one just seems like a good energy card to have in the deck. Besides that, that actually does seem like all the energy and physical attacks I do have inside of here. So the next things I do have along the line would be my blocks, and the blocks actually are pretty crazy. I'll show you right now the strange variety of blocks and stuff I have. I have, for physical blocks, I have 2 of the Namekian knee block. The reason I run a Namekian knee block is if it's rejuvenated, so meaning at the end of the turn we have to discard a card and you have to rejuvenate top card discard pile. If you rejuvenate this one, it gets you an anger, so that's good. But that's not the reason I actually use it. It's because the endurance 2. So when they do hit you, if you can't stop anything, and like this card does get milled off top of your deck, you have more endurance right there, so it's more of a buffer to slow them down from getting a crit on you. The next one I have is obviously the Namekian Reinforced block. The reason I use this, endurance as well, but also because it says your Dragon Balls cannot be captured this combat. So if you stop their attack and then you get hit with an energy right afterwards that you can't stop, they still can't capture your Dragon Balls. So you're pretty safe on that, and trying to, you know, prevent them from doing any stealing from you. You want to steal everything from them. Next along the line, I do have another physical block. It is the Namekian Backflip. This one is a really, really, really awesome card. This is one of the reasons why I do play all those non-styled cards inside of the deck, is because Stuff like this. Namekian backflip. Lower your opponent's anger 1. Yes, that's fantastic. Okay, you may reveal the bottom card of your life deck. If that reveal card was a non-styled, use critical damage effect. So you look at the bottom of your life deck, you just revealed your Android defensive blast, which is non-styled. Bam, critical damage, getting whatever Dragon Ball is stolen from you back on your side of the field. Or lowering their anger, whatever, you know. But it just helps you out with that whole Dragon Ball control. And if you land it right, and with the mastery, Namekian mastery, if you land it all right, you can just totally take advantage of that and make it where, you know, you do your critical damage. So it's pretty awesome. That's one of the reasons why I use that. Especially with other decks where you have the anger up quick, you can just sit there and lower the anger super quick. Another block I have is obviously a dual block, and it's, ta-da, Nail's Heritage. It says limit 2 per deck. That's why there's only 2 in here. If this card is in play, you may rejuvenate it as an action. If you use this card as a second times combat, banish after use. Power. Stop a styled physical or styled energy attack. This card stays in play to use a second time as combat. That is juicy. That is amazing. Being able to stop it and then as an action shuffle it back in. I think that is one of the best cards I can think of to have inside of this deck, because you can block, shuffle it back in, bring it back later, block, shuffle it back in. It just seems way too overpowered not to use. So that's why I am putting 2 of them in there, and that's why they are pretty reliable, because they stop the styled physical or styled energy attack. So they're way amazing. That's why I love this card. Obviously, last but not least, but everybody does know about, and everybody would favor for a Namekian deck for the blocks. Ta-da! Namekian Hybrid Defense. Obviously, you do the block, but then you get to rejuvenate. Unfortunately, you're going to be at level 1 most of the time with this deck, but, you know, it's going to help you get at least 1 card rejuvenated back, a card that you can probably use late game, or if you want to be able to put it back at the end of the turn, rejuvenate that 1 card, and then with that, put it back on top of your life deck, which is amazing thanks to our Namekian Restored Mastery. So that's a really good card to have in the deck. Also for physical attacks, Nail has his own physical attack. So the other card that I did show that said, you know, your next non-stop physical attack performed this combat against hit, you may use critical damage. That means he has potential to actually do critical damage from his personality's attack at that point in time too. Another reason I want more Namekian backhands in this deck, but only have 1 in here, would be for this card, Namekian Preparation. It's an event used when you perform a physical attack, meaning if you had the backhand out there and you use the attack, you can use this, and it says use a critical damage effect, meaning you don't have to hit with it, you just do the straight critical damage to on your Dragon Ball back. And it says on here, you may return a Dragon Ball in play back to its owner's hand. If you do, cancel the immediate effects of all block cards as combat. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like, okay, let me go ahead and steal my Dragon Ball back, get that Dragon Ball put into my hand, so if you use Timeless Warrior's Tool on me, guess what? The immediate effects of that blocking card, I get to go past that, and like it says on there, stop all your opponent's attacks as combat. That means it doesn't stop all of them. That means I can continuously attack again over and over the Namekian backhand for the last 2 attacks. So that's why I like this one. Also, the cool thing about it is, look at that endurance. Endurance is 1. I love endurance for Namekian decks because we have a hard time getting out those the stall for it. We can do a lot of blocks, but the endurance we need to have max out. So that's why I like that too. So I went ahead and put 3 of those inside of the deck, because that one just seems really, really fun to have. The next one, to get out my Kami, or to get out the drills, would be the Namekian Reinforced Charge. I only played 2 of these because it's not that important to me to have them. It says, search your life deck for a drill or ally and play it. Dragon Balls lose all effects this combat. So with that, I'm like, if Dragon Balls lose all effects, even if they do somehow crit me, guess what? They won't be able to use the effects of the Dragon Ball. And 2, I'll be able to pull out my either my ally, or I can pull out my drill. So this does not seem like a bad idea at all, and I thought that would be pretty fun to have in the deck. So those are only 2 of those events. Obviously, 3 confrontations. We want to make sure we can get an advantage at looking at our opponent's hand, shuffling it back in. So that one's a good one. 3 of those. I do 1 Timeless Warrior's Tool, obviously 1 per deck. This is a staple. Everybody needs at least 1 time. So I went ahead and put this inside the deck. It's amazing, good, beautiful, good card. And last but not least, because of the Cell matchups, because of a lot of the cards that we have in the format, I think there should be 3 spheres, not 2. I was debating 2, but I honestly think 3. You have a lot of the Cell styles out there. You have a lot of the obviously times. You know, a lot of the staples are event cards. That's why I wanted to play 3 of these inside of the deck, so I can stop all those ones that take advantage of me. If someone used a Cell style and took my Nell's dashing attack, that would hurt me dramatically. So that's why I wanted to make sure that it's all straight up. So in the end, that's what we have out there. We stay at level 1, we try to get out the Dragon Balls, we do as much crit as we can, and then we use the drills and the setups and the ally to try to get the Dragon Balls out even quicker. Obviously with the mastery, we could do a lot of the deck control and then raise our anger, but in the end we're not trying to get the anger. So yeah, that is the next deck that I did. It did beat my brother in his Saiyan deck, his Saiyan Cell deck, which was a surprise because I've never actually beat it, and it did win by getting out all my Dragon Balls. So I just want to show that out there to you guys. It seems pretty legit. It's actually really fun to do. I haven't played against like a red deck, which intimidates me, but it's doing good right now and I like it. So if you guys have any other questions about it, if you guys can give me any input on what could be inside of here to help it out, just let me know. Alright, thank you.